You in a hurry?
It's 11:03.
His stomach's growling.
Welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live with the icon, Mike Smith. I'm Dan Ramey, and off to my immediate left is Mr. Hand 2, a.k.a. Aaron Glandon. Good to have you here today. Thank you for watching. We've got several things to share with you. I think some stuff you'll be seeing for the first time. We'll explain about that in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at the forecast.
One more day of sunshine, and that's today. They're talking about the possibility of rain moving in later tonight, and then it sets in again. We haven't seen that any time this spring, have we? Rain possible Thursday through next Tuesday. Not constant, but on and off showers. Highs in the upper 70s today, and then we're looking for upper 70s to low 80s in the extended forecast. Let's see, 84 maybe for today. Felt a little bit more muggy this morning than it did yesterday, so it's going to be more like a Ohio June 4th type of day compared to the cooler, less humid weather that we've been getting.
But not quite as hot as the 4th of July.
Absolutely not.
So, which is a month away now. Imagine that. All right, coming up in a moment, we'll get you started with a look at what's making news for us today here across our region. But first, let's tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. When it comes to being comfortable in your home or your business, you can trust these folks. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it takes you right to their website, accuratehvac.com. Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
Tecumseh. Fascinating. Captivating. Mesmerizing. Tecumseh.
And of course, that show opens up pretty soon. Tecumseh comes to you June 12th of this year. Let's take a look at where you can find news that you can use. It's right here, littermedia.com. Of course, we'll talk about the Shermans coming up in just a bit in sports. But first, we want to tell you where you can find all this news. Littermedia.com, all of our social media contact information, including Litter Media Radio, all up in the right-hand corner of our website.
Adena Health will conduct a groundbreaking ceremony signifying the start of construction on a new 65,000 square foot hospital designed to meet the growing healthcare needs of Fayette County. The new hospital, which we actually told you about almost 4 years ago, will offer advanced technology, move medical services, and greater comfort for patients and families, as well as help boost the regional economy. This groundbreaking will be next Tuesday at 3 o'clock in Washington Courthouse, just off the side of where the current medical center is located. Word has come to us out of Hocking County Historical Society that 97-year-old George Johnson of Logan has passed away. George was one of the first members of the society and continued as a dedicated member until his passing. George led a full life as a professor emeritus at Hocking College. He was also a U.S. Army World War II veteran, serving with the 11th Airborne Division from 1945 to 1947.
We're losing them daily.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we really are. And yesterday in studio, we had Brian Grigsby here from Southern Ohio FCA. That's the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, talking about their first experience with Gus Macker basketball tournament over the weekend. Grigsby said there's a ton of stories in regard to the FCA's ministry during the weekend.
I think that the Gus Macker weekend alone, we probably shared the gospel with more straight, unchurched people that have never walked into the doors of a church, they were truly unchurched people. We probably shared the gospel with more people in just this weekend than we have in the last 4 years combined.
And there were many stories that he was telling me about after our interview as well. While Gus Macker was a fundraising tool for the Southern Ohio chapter of FCA, they certainly found a way to turn it into a ministry tool. There was a special speaker who came this past Sunday. He was on the men's top court, and he was from Syracuse, New York. There was a documentary group following him and discussing and following everything he was sharing. He gave a testimony for about an hour, and he was loud. You think our brother Troy Gray, when he preaches, is loud? This guy was loud. And speakers were lined up all the way down Water Street, so people were hearing what he had to say. And Brian said that the crowd just continually grew as he was speaking. They came to him. Now, 20 to 40 people gave their life to Christ right there on the men's top court. But there was a 7-footer that was there, big, massive-looking individual. And he sat down with this special speaker they had. He was telling his story about he plays in Gus Macker all the time. He usually doesn't make it through Saturday because he gets tossed, has anger issues and everything. They got down, they talked about his father and his relationship, and really he had just had a troubled life. The guy who was the motivational speaker, he said, this guy came and did a sit-down interview with us, with these documentarians who were there. He said it was one of the top 5 interviews they have done in following him around. So reduced him to tears, he said. Yeah, so the wonders of what this ministry is doing was displayed. 500 to 1,000 people were witness to, as Brian said earlier. If you'd like to see all of that interview in its entirety, just go to Litter Media's YouTube channel, and that's where you'll also find our previous conversations with Brian, too, about what they were hoping the ministry would do. But he was like, boom, blown away with how the response was. You can enjoy an evening of fun, food, and also have a movie under the stars. That's coming up on Sunday, June 8th at the Jeffersonville Park Pavilion. And don't forget your own lawn chair or blanket. Bring the whole family. It's going to be a great night, sponsored by Grace Community Church of Washington Courthouse. Things are coming along well for the new home for the Ross County Humane Society. Executive Director Jen Thomas commissioned the Litter Media drone for some shots of the trusses being placed yesterday. And according to board member Johnny Johnson, the old building is 4,000 square feet. That's what you see on the right side there, those watching on our screen here, with about half of that being the rear being used as kennel for 47 kennels. But as you can see, the new building is nearly twice the size at 7,500 square feet. And there'll be 4 divided kennel areas to minimize noise and cross-contamination. And the dog warden offices will also be in the back with their own personal entrance. We'll be catching up with Jen to tell us more about the improvements going on with the new home of the Ross County Humane Society in the coming days. It was neat watching them put this together.
Kids, close your ears.
Oh, my.
2 events in Chillicothe are planned for August to help kids prepare for a new school year. What? We just got out. The 19th Stuff the Bus will be held August 1st at Walmart in Chillicothe from 2 to 6 p.m. The August 12th event is Project School Tools at Chillicothe Middle School from 10 a.m. until 1. The event is open to any student in need in Ross County, and families can register by going to the QR code that you see on the right, the poster to the right, if you're watching us today. If you are an agency interested in participating in that event, contact Chillicothe Middle School.
You know, this stuff is going to be out on the
Oh, yeah.
shelves already, and school isn't for a couple more months yet. But it's much like suddenly you see the Christmas candy gone. Before you know it, Valentine's stuff is out, you know,
Right.
how they are weeks ahead, or in many cases, months ahead of the holidays.
And some folks, the project Coach for Kids were telling us that even though when they were promoting their project, it was near, well, actually it was in spring, but that winter coats were still on the racks.
Right.
They said that's the time to buy in bulk stuff like that because the price is going down.
Right.
And then, you know, just donate it, and then during the winter, they can pass those out to the needy kids. A resurfacing project on U.S. Route 35 between the Jackson County line and Vigo Road. This project is already underway. At least one lane of traffic is being maintained, and that project will go through this fall.
And to follow up real quick on our road report from last Friday, I believe it was, Aaron and I were talking about what they're going to be doing around Lake White. Well, it's actually just a little, when I say just a little, it's like 100 yards north of Lake White, because I couldn't understand why the detour said 552, because I was seeing that 552, where they were painting all of the things for signs and everything, it looked like 552 was going to be cut off, but it's just north of that. So you can get around Lake White completely. It said that work was supposed to start yesterday or Monday, but there's no work that's been done, but they do have the barrels up. They've got signage up. Some of the signs are covered at this point. So all the prep work is being done. I'm guessing by this time next week, they'll be into full digging things out mode.
One other traffic note. I got a bone to pick with you motorists out there. Do not block the intersections on Bridge Street. There are signs posted that say that. And people are getting out in that intersection, the light changes, and no one goes anywhere. Please do not block the intersections.
Patience is difficult, and we know you got to get to where you need to go, but sometimes you pull into this, especially if you're coming off 35. This has always been an issue, pulling off of 35 onto Bridge Street, and those people that know there's not enough room for me to keep coming, and they've got everything blocked. So
it's against the law. You could be ticketed.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's never any police officers or highway patrol.
since they're stuck in
there.
traffic back there.
Yeah, really. So don't block the intersection. Thank you.
All right.
This public service announcement
Yes,
has
we're
been made by Mike Smith.
Off of our soapboxes now. Oh, by the way, tip of the cap, and you can find this on our Facebook page today. Tip of the cap to Trooper Shrek from the Chillicothe Post. She found a fawn that was sitting on the side of the road on Route 23. And so she calls ODNR to get, how do we find it? But anyway, it's body cam footage of her picking this fawn up and helping to set it off into the grassy area as she was told to do so. So you'll find that on our Facebook page today. Thanks to the Ohio State Highway Patrol. We salute you. Coming up, a look at sports. But first, Scioto Valley Dumpsters, 740-253-8389. I was coming back from the Ross County Humane Society yesterday off of Charleston Pike, and as I'm there, I see a Scioto Valley Dumpsters truck delivering another dumpster. So they're out and about. If you need one, give them a call, 740-253-8389.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Time for sports, and we begin with the Unioto Shermans in Athens yesterday.
Still playing. Unioto advance to the D4 Regional Championship game tomorrow with a 1-0 decision over London.
There's the final out to the game yesterday.
How about that? KB Perkins went the distance for the victory, fanning 10 and yielding 6 hits in the shutout, while on offense, he singled in the lone run of the contest in the 4th inning. They move on to play Indian Valley, who beat Carrollton over at Cadiz yesterday 12-2.
Mm-hmm. And thank you to Amy Arnold for allowing it. She's a big Unioto fan, and I believe her son is playing for the Shermans.
Other action from yesterday, baseball. Loveland run-ruled Taze Valley 13-2 in 5 innings. In Division 5, Ironton had built up an 11-0 lead prior to the 5th inning. Fairfield Christian scored 5, which kept them alive, so it went 7-11-5. St. Paris Graham beat Miami Valley Christian, so St. Paris Graham and Ironton play their final today. And in softball, a preview, state tournament, Akron's Firestone Stadium gets underway today. The Springfield-Kenton Ridge-Lexington game is going on now. Hillsboro and Cortland Lakeview, that is scheduled to be played at 12:30. And then later this afternoon, late afternoon probably, Portsmouth Notre Dame is taking on Covington. Baseball Division 5 Regional Semi. Lynchburg Clay faces Valley. Southeastern against Eastern Meigs. That's, I think, a 6 o'clock game over at Lancaster's Beaver Field. And in Division 7, South Webster against Strasburg Franklin, and Green against Newark Catholic.
Was Circleville playing today? Tomorrow. Okay.
At VA against
the
Dover.
VA. All right. Chillicothe improved to 4-3 on the season with a 4-0 win over Johnstown last night. Tonight's the first winning Wednesday of the year with some lucky fans winning gas cards. The Paints will host the Champion City Kings tonight at 7:05. Fans 65 years, how old are you?
65.
65 years and over, get into the game for free tonight. Woo-hoo. Gates open up at 6:05. Reds held on for a 4-2 win over the Brewers thanks to T.J. Friedel. He launched his body up against the wall and picked up what might have been a home run to tie the game. What a great catch. And there you see Will Benson. He had the insurance home run that was hit later. By the way, Stevenson, Tyler. Bobblehead night.
Yep.
Coming up, is it Thursday night or Friday?
That I don't know.
It's one or the other. But he had a home run last night, too, to get the scoring started for the Reds. And as you saw, the Guardians edged the Yankees 3-2. That Reds-Milwaukee Brewers wrap-up is today. It's a 12:35 start, I think, or 12:40.
Yep.
All right. That's a look at sports. Coming up, this date in history, and we hearken back to
1967.
Details next.
But first, we want to tell you about Litter Quality Propane online all the time. Customer payment, account information, and more. Log on at litterpropane.com.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. You couldn't hear the train going by, and I said, give me one more toot before I turn the microphones on, and sure enough, we got it there. While supplies last, new riding mowers starting at $1699.99, new zero-turn mowers starting at $3399.99, new walk-behind starting at $399.99, new chainsaws, they start at $279.99, new blowers starting at $199.99, and new trimmers starting at $229.99. Hurry in for the best selection. Prices like this, they won't last long. Hometown Motors, your store for the outdoors. And you see them right there. Oh, now it's Andy Thomason. All right.
Maybe he's got one, too.
He may. This date in history.
1967, Israel.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
Yes, Israel, the nation of Israel, preemptively attacks 5 area nations because they learn that they are going to be attacked. Preemptive aerial attack against Egypt, and Jordan subsequently entered the fray, but the Arab coalition was no match for Israel's armed forces. In 6 days of fighting, Israel occupied the Gaza Strip, the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt, the Golan Heights of Syria, and the West Bank and Arab sector of East Jerusalem, both previously under Jordanian rule. By the time the United Nations ceasefire took effect on June 11th, Israel had more than doubled its size, including claiming the old city of Jerusalem from Jordan.
There you see the Sinai Peninsula right there.
Yeah.
Shaded area is Israel. Even the West Bank is.
You see, Dan is
West
got
Bank
a
is
talent.
right there, and here's your Golan Heights there.
He has an artistic talent that I do not have. Mine's only for comedy relief. Dan is for accurate.
I should have drawn it like this so it would be bigger. But that's what happens when you start 2 minutes before the show starts.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Yeah, we still have mics.
Yeah, I'm never going to live that one down. My Chrysler building. I thought my Volkswagen was probably as bad.
It just looks a little prickly around here.
Well, see, that's supposed to be. That's supposed to be the.
You know what it looks like?
It's kind of like a, what do you call it, the Art Deco? That looks nothing like Art Deco. Yeah. I should have probably had my daughter.
It didn't look like Mary Deco either.
No.
That's a look at today's program. Visited just a moment ago via email with Patrick Quackenbush. He is the new executive director of the Adena Mansion and Gardens. He will be joining us in studio tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And also tomorrow we'll be visiting again with Tiffany Baldwin to talk about Chillicothe Brew Fest. A lot of stuff going on this weekend in and around Chillicothe. Right?
Tiffany?
It'll be at noon tomorrow.
Okay. And Anthony comes in, what did you say? Mr. Quackenbush?
You told me 1 o'clock earlier.
Patrick will be here. Again,
now
Tiffany.
I'm confused.
Tiffany at noon tomorrow. Patrick at 1 tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Thank you, Aaron. I wasn't hearing that correctly.
It's because you weren't paying attention.
Oh, I thought I was. I wouldn't have remembered the name.
Let me get back to what Mrs. Barnhill said in our 6th grade class. This was when, well, it was actually Miss Barnhill. Her dad was Frank. Remember him, mayor of Circleville?
I don't remember.
You don't remember Frank Barnhill?
That might have been before my media days.
That very well could be. But I was in the 6th grade class, and Mary Brown was turned around saying something to me as she was asking a question, and I'll remember this to the day I die. She says, Dan, what's your answer? And I'm like, because Mary was distracting me. And she says, well, if you'd pick your ears instead of your nose, you might learn something.
Now, the $64,000 question is, what was Mary Brown turned around talking to you about?
I can't remember. I just got startled.
So you weren't paying attention to her either.
No, I mean, everything left my mind when I heard Dan. Actually, back then she would have said Danny.
Did the teacher's voice come across like Charlie Brown's teacher? Wah, 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 wah. Michael Frank could really do that well.
I don't know if Miss Barnhill's still around anymore, so I'm not going to say yes or no.
Okay. Well, if she's not around, she won't hear it. Unless she's hearing it from heaven, and that's possible. I don't know.
That is possible. No. She might be hearing it from someplace else and send somebody after me. So
Mrs. Barnhill certainly would. Never mind.
No, we're kidding. We're kidding. All being jovial. So we should pull the plug on the program right now. Until tomorrow, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. For Mike Smith and for Aaron Glandon, I'm Dan Ramey. Thanks for watching Litter